Welcome to the Empowered Women Wellness Project. Do you really want to know? And today we're going to be talking about microplastics. If you've been paying attention, you may have heard some talk about microplastics and why you may want to be a little bit more mindful about removing microplastics from your routine.
Unfortunately, microplastics are found in multiple places. All you have to do is think about how you're storing your food, when you're buying these things in the supermarket, also in our clothing, in our oceans. They're even found in cosmetics and products now. So we have to be really mindful about what we're using on our bodies, in our homes, and what we're using to store our food.
So microplastics they will wreak havoc on so many different things in your body and your well-being. Microplastics can have an impact on your hormone levels. They can have an impact on inflammation. They will impact even your heart health. There's research on that, your brain health. Speaking of brain health, I was listening again to another podcast and they were talking about how much microplastics they have found in the human brain. So microplastics actually will store in your cells, in your arterial walls, and in your brain. They have done research and found as much as a credit card's worth of microplastics in the brain, which is extremely alarming when our body's not supposed to house this material. So definitely something that you want to be mindful of. And as Amanda started talking about where you can find these things, I think it'll be helpful to give some tips on ways to remove microplastics from your daily routine. First tip that comes to mind for me is your water bottles. I see people drinking out of plastic water bottles every single day, and I totally get it because in a pinch, if I don't have a water bottle on me, one of my Awala water bottle that I use, and I am really needing a drink, I will drink out of a plastic water bottle,
right.
But I really try not to. So tip number one, get yourself a stainless steel reusable water bottle. Ditch the plastic water bottles as much as possible.
Also, when you're thinking about food storage, like I mentioned a few moments ago, make sure that you're not using the plastics. I know that sometimes we're ordering foods from restaurants and we can't really control those things, but the second that food comes into your home, switch it out. Grab your glass containers. I love a set that'll actually link below. I got on Amazon, not expensive at all. Yeah, Amazon's the best. Come on. I mean, you order it, it comes now. You can even get it the same day. I mean, 4 hours later, it's at your front door. Genius. Anyway, I have these incredible glass containers that have bamboo lids. So there's not even plastic lids. Though it's okay if you have plastic lids, it's okay. But the concern comes not only with the actual plastics themselves, it's the reheating of them. So we want to make sure that we're not reheating anything inside of those containers. Also, they start to break down when you're using them over time. So let's say thinking about putting them in the dishwasher.
Yeah.
Right? And then over time, it starts to break down. And unfortunately, trace amounts of those microplastics can end up in your food. And then just like what Lauren said, they can go through your circulatory system and ends up in your brain.
Another tip, which not to knock a product, but I was listening to a live. All these things pop up in my social media feed now because we're always talking about it. But K-cups. So using a K-cup, you're having boiling hot water go through plastic and that is just seeping into your coffee. So I actually have reusable steel. So you can just buy ground coffee and still use your Keurig, but not get the K-cups. And I know there's other brands that don't have the plastic, but it's like the K-cups, it's even tin products are lined sometimes with plastic.
Yes.
So tip number 3 is going to be, if you do use your Keurig, consider getting a reusable steel K-cup or the other product that is more of like a cloth on the bottom or the filter as opposed to having it cased in the plastic.
And there's a really great brand of those. It's San Francisco or San Fran. You can find them at Wegmans. I will link them in the show notes below as well, because why not?
Right.
Another thing that we want to be mindful of is what's in our cosmetics. So there's an amazing website, the ewg.org. They have an incredible application, if you'd like to call it that, the Healthy Living app, where you can scan the barcodes on your cosmetics and even on some of the foods in your home to see where they land on the ewg.org scale. 0 is usually like the EWG certified. So that's going to be closest to what their really high standards say is okay. But then you can go all the way up to number 5, which takes you a little bit further away from their standards. So it's actually been a really great way for me to slowly start to switch out the cosmetics that I'm using. It's not only microplastics that are in those, it could also be some of the chemicals that are in there that you may not want to be putting on your skin. So definitely check it out. It's an incredible resource.
I have one more tip that I'll throw out there is when it comes to the utensils that you're using. So often we'll use maybe a plastic pasta scoop or plasticware even to eat your food on the go. So opting for silverware instead, just wash your silverware instead of using plasticware, which I know I'm also guilty of in a pinch. And also consider wooden or bamboo, you had mentioned, for your cookware utensils. That's a very easy swap as well. We actually also did a podcast episode where we dive a little bit deeper into microplastics, what they are. But again, things that you really want to omit from the air in your home.
Yes.
From the way you're storing your food, so that you're not giving yourself more exposure to products that will lead to, again, cancer, inflammation, hormone imbalance. There are so many things that can go awry with this overabundance, and things have shifted so much in the wrong direction. And now it feels like things are circling and moving back into the right direction with a lot of options out there that we can use to take control of our bodies, of our health, and what accumulates in our bodies because of all the different products that are out there.
So like Lauren said, if you had a great time learning a little bit more about microplastics, definitely click the link below and check out the entire podcast episode where we offer you more options of ways to slowly start removing microplastics out of your life as well. If you're having a good time with us, please like, subscribe, follow, and maybe share this episode with a friend who's walking around with their water bottle right now on the way to the gym. Let them know that we have a lot of new options for them to take on to help to take care of themselves and become 1% better every single day. Until we meet again, happy watching.